Okay, what I'll be showing you today is Microsoft Pivot, which has just been released by Live Labs. As of yesterday, it's the 7th of August, the 8th of August, sorry, so it was released on the 7th of August 2010. Now, I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. This is the main screen. As you can see, here are all my recent websites that I've visited. Along the top, we have, quite interestingly, we don't have any aero style clear stuff. It's all being changed. So where there used to be a lot of wasted space, it's now being used. So we've got a back button. We've got the recently viewed, which is sort of like this pretty much. We've got a address bar, I suppose, a search bar. We can favorite stuff. There's a refresh. There's websites that I've visited. Some options and the other things that you might use along the top. Along the bottom we have home, history, a pivot collection. We've got a feedback thing there. These are all my tabs here. And then we've got some collections, and then we've got another collections button there. So if I press plus, it gives me a new tab. If I press plus again, it gives me another tab, etc. And I can go through. Now, you might be looking at this and you might think that it's a web browser. And with that said, it is a web browser because it works very well as a web browser. So if I go to, for instance, news.google, typing with one hand here, news.google.com. As you can see, I've got the whole website. I can scroll through as I would. What you might find interesting is that it's got a couple of new features. I don't know if this is a look at Internet Explorer 9 for feedback, but if I click this, if I can scroll down like normal with my scroll wheel, but if I click the scroll and I move to the left a little bit, it zooms out a tad. It's very intuitive because I can look through the website, I can move further to the left and it gives me a broader look at the whole website. If I move right to the middle, I can see the whole entire website there. You can imagine on a good high def resolution display how good that would be. So if I go, if I want to just quickly, if I wanted to just quickly go to the bottom, I can just go like this, go to the bottom, let go, and it zooms in on the bottom. That's one of the main browser features. As you can see, it's I can open a new tab. It's just like using Internet Explorer 8, I suppose. It's pretty much the same. Do all the same handy stuff. I'll just go to settings here. Here are the settings we have. So we have the browsing history, internet options, which seem to be the same. Looks like a different console, but it looks the same. And if I go to About, it tells me that this is Microsoft Live Labs Pivot version 1.06. Okay, now as you can see, this can just be used as a browser, but it's actually got Silverlight capability embedded. So if I actually close that, if I click Pivot Collections, here's some collections that Microsoft have put up for themselves. They're just waiting for third parties to do it. You can could integrate this on your website, for instance. But just for example, if I want to, what's a good way? Okay, if I click Wikipedia, for instance, okay, it takes me to a Wikipedia portal, and I'm brought up with a bunch of different categories for the as you can see, it's just, yeah, it's a bunch of categories. Okay, and what you can do is, now I'm not sure how intuitive this is at the moment. I'm not sure if it's a bit of a gimmick or what, but if I type in, okay, let's say I click technology. What I'm given is a visual representation of all the information that's in Wikipedia that's related to technology. And if I zoom in, you can see that there's a bunch of photos that actually have embedded metadata in them. So what I can do here is untick all these. I can sort like this, and that shows everything related to technology from all the Wikipedia articles that they've put available. I think it's like 2 million. Now, what I can do is I can click years. I can change this and only look at, 2009. I can only look at, you can just guesstimate there, or I can look at the whole thing right through. And if I click this bottom at the top right, it says switch to graph view. If I switch that, what it does is it will sort it. It should sort it to years. Here we go. So as you can see, in 1825 there was one entry. If I zoom in on that, it says here Thomas Edison, blah 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 blah. Gives me all the information that I could need, all the categories that it's in. And if I double click it, it takes me to the Wikipedia entry from memory. Okay, no, if I've double clicked it, it shows me all the Thomas Edison related stuff. Okay, but if I go back here, I go to that. Yeah, if I click view full article, it takes me to Wikipedia. Now that's interesting. That's Bing Wikipedia. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if that's just Bing being ported to Wikipedia being ported to Bing or what. I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, that's as you can see, the zoom scrolling still works through all the websites. I found it to be quite snappy. You need actually when I installed it, it said that it might run a little bit slow on a GTX 260, which I thought was kind of surprising. But anyway, it's working quite flawlessly. So as you can see, it's got like a visual representation of all the stuff that's available on the internet. Ideally, it'll be everything, but you can imagine with a touchscreen how intuitive it would be. If I go home, you can also the way that it throws it all together is quite interesting based on the metadata. It renders and builds an image on the spot. So if I go cars, if I go new cars, here I can see that they're all the hybrid cars, they're all the luxury cars, passenger cars, pickup. And if I want to sort by, not the quantity, if I want to sort by the miles per gallon, so I can sort from 12 to 48. I don't want 48. I'll just go all the cars that don't use much. And I can see here that there's some pickup trucks that use under, as you can see, under 17 miles per gallon. And some sports cars. So I'll just click this sport cars and see what there are. Okay, there's as you can see, there's a BMW M5, which is 85 grand. There's a BMW M6, which is 102 grand, and it tells you the estimated annual fuel cost, miles per gallon, and all that sort of stuff. So that's pretty cool. And then I can go through and it gives me all the Bing results and stuff. So hopefully we'll see something like this in Windows Mobile 7, because it seems to work quite well. Pretty happy with it. It's actually pretty good. It's sort of, you can imagine if you have everything sorted like this and then you use something like Google Goggles where you're actually using a camera and it can work out what's what from the image that you've shown it, then that'll be really, really interesting to see. So that's that. But apart from all that sort of stuff there, it seems to work as a as a standard browser with the added benefit of the whole scroll zoom thing. You know, you can all your tabs come across here, and it's quite nice to use. It's kind of fancy. It reminds me of Opera Mobile, to be honest. But that's that. Okay, thanks for watching.